Hey everybody, this is Jason Creel. This is a Lawn Care Life. Today I pulled up on a lawn that's got Centipede and St. Augustine grasses mixed together. It's full of weeds. What I'm going to do, I'm going to spray the lawn, fertilize the lawn, and in this video, what I'm going to do, unlike some of the previous ones I've done where I'm trying to recover a yard full of weeds, I'm going to actually wait 2 or 3 weeks probably and come back and look at the lawn and see what it looks like and how it's improved, so I can show you at the end of this video what the results we got from this application are. So let's take a look at the lawn, show you the problems. I'm going to spray it, fertilize it, and then we'll come back and check and see how well it worked. Okay, so here's the lawn. Big, beautiful Japanese maple, big magnolia tree, but lots of sunlight. And like I said, combination of St. Augustine here that is kind of being mowed a little too short, and there's also Centipede blended in here. If I guess I had to call it one or the other, it looks like it might be more St. Augustine than Centipede. So as I look at the weeds in the lawn, you've got, I'm filming this in late April. This one with a little purple flower looks like what we call field madder. That's spelled M-A-D-D-E-R, field madder. Got lots of white clover in the lawn. And I'm sure there's some other stuff. This is the oxalis or yellow wood sorrel I've been seeing a lot of lately. But those are kind of the main ones I'm seeing. Like I said, significant amount of clover all in this area. And there's a couple areas where I think they may have had some landscaping taken out or trees removed. You got some creeping Charlie here. And there's also some grassy reeds. Like this is a situation where somebody maybe at one point in time put out some seed for some kind of ryegrass or fescue, and it's hanging around here, and I'm not sure if I'm going to address that in today's video or not. But over here was again an area where it looks like there was it looks like they had a stump ground in the lawn, and so not much here as far as grass grows. I do see this is crabgrass that is starting to pop up, which is not a good sign. Got dandelions, more oxalis, and lots of creeping Charlie. So what can we do to take action on this lawn? Well, I'm probably not going to worry about the little bit of crabgrass. The main crabgrass problem I think they're going to have is in this area where there was virtually no Centipede or St. Augustine. I don't think there will be that much crabgrass in the primary area of the lawn, so I'm not going to worry about it. If I could have put out prodiamine, which is a pre-emergent herbicide, early in the year, I could have done that and maybe got ahead of some of this crabgrass that would have helped prevent that from happening. But we didn't do that. So I'm going to concentrate on these broadleaf weeds, the ryegrass and things like that. I think some of that is going to really get stressed out during the heat. Maybe even some of it will die out over the heat. Sometimes I'll use Celsius and Certainty mixed together. Those are two commonly used herbicides, and those are very good at knocking out some of the grassy weeds. So if I want to get rid of these ryegrass or fescue clumps in the lawn, that would be the combination I would do for that. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that today. What I'm going to focus on is trying to get the vast majority of the weed problem taken care of, which is our broadleaf weeds, the creeping Charlie, and things like that. And so I've got a combination of two products that I often use as the weather warms up, and we're using Change Up is the name of the one herbicide, and the other is Manner, which is the active ingredient metsulfuron. And I'm using both of these at a very low rate. The Change Up actually even below the labeled rate. So it'll tell you on a St. Augustine yard, 16 ounces per acre. I'm going all the way down to 12 ounces per acre, and then I'm going with 1/4 ounce of metsulfuron, which is a very low rate of those. So that's the combination I'm doing. I'm gonna put it in a ride-on machine, and I'm gonna go over this yard and try to knock out the clover, the creeping Charlie, things like that. Then I'm going to fertilize it with a fertilizer blend I get from Harold's. That's where I buy my fertilizer. It's an 18-1-9 blend, so 18% nitrogen. I'm going to put that out, and hopefully that's going to feed this lawn for a couple months, and to where when we come back here and check it out in 2 or 3 weeks from now, maybe we'll start to see some results. But I'm hoping that it's going to continue on feeding the lawn long after the video is concluded. What I'm trying to show you here is a cheap combination herbicide that can be used on your warm season grasses and probably many cool season grasses with the Change Up and the metsulfuron. You want to check the label and make sure it's safe for your grass type. Also wear your PPE, and then fertilizing the lawn. So I want to make sure that I don't do this while the grass is still in spring transition. So as I look around, it is mostly green. If you do this If I would have done this application a month ago when it was still kind of coming out of dormancy and had some green but not fully green, it's very likely that I would have seriously delayed the green up. So I wanted to purposely wait. And the other thing I can do in this situation, and it's a little bit difficult because they have Centipede and St. Augustine grass, but since I'm going to call it mostly a St. Augustine lawn, you can encourage the homeowner to start mowing it a little bit taller. So Centipede do like to mow it quite short, inch and a half, something like that. But the St. Augustine need to let it get up to 3 or 4 inches or so. So maybe we can encourage the homeowner to change their mowing pattern, and that can also help benefit the health of the grass. So let's get started spraying, and then we'll check back on the results. All right, I got the lawn sprayed, got the fertilizer in the hopper. So this being an 1819 fertilizer, the first number is your nitrogen, 18. If you divide that number in half, if it comes in a 50-pound bag, which it does, so divide that 18 in half, the first number, and that gives you 9. Okay, so there's 9 pounds of nitrogen in this bag. So let's just say I'm put out the 50-pound bag. Let's say I cover 10,000 square feet with that bag, then I'm putting out 0.9 pounds of nitrogen for every 1,000 square feet. The reason I say that is because on a St. Augustine Centipede lawn, you're typically trying to stay under 2 pounds of nitrogen per 1,000 square feet for the calendar year. So if I did this fertilizer, let's say in late April or May, and then come back again in July, and did it a second application at 0.9 pounds and then 0.9 pounds, that would be 1.8 pounds of nitrogen per 1,000 square feet for the calendar year. So if that didn't make sense, what I just said, rewind the video and listen to that part again. But basically, the 50-pound bag of fertilizer, take the first number, which is your nitrogen, divided by 2. That gives you the amount of nitrogen pounds in the bag, and then figure out how many square feet you're putting out. On Bermuda zoysias, we're using more nitrogen than that, but this is for Centipede and St. Augustine lawn. So this is the blend. We're going to put it out, and like I said, we'll check back and see if we can get some results before it's time to wrap up the video. So it's been a few weeks since I've been at this yard, and I want to show you what it looks like now. Now, we had some dry weather, and then we've had a lot of rain. The other thing that happened, well, let me show you the yard first, and then I'm going to tell you some of the things I've learned about this yard. All right, here it is. I hope it shows up on the camera as good as it does in person, but this looks noticeably different. Now, some of that is the time of year, weather's warmed up. Rain obviously helps. It was dry for a while. We've had some rain. The other thing is I did spray the weeds, and you can see just looking from a distance. I'm not saying there's no weeds in here, because I'm sure there are, but it looks pretty clean looking at it. But then I told the homeowner to make an adjustment on how they were mowing the grass, because when I looked at the yard at one point in time, I knew I had some Centipede in St. Augustine, and I was thinking, well, it's more Centipede than St. Augustine. You know, got Centipede over here, got St. Augustine over here. Well, as I got to looking at it, I thought, you know what, I believe it's probably more St. Augustine. Where St. Augustine, we want to mow it kind of high. Centipede typically mow it low. So I encouraged the homeowner, you know, they were mowing it low, I think, to knock down the weeds and stuff. But I said, the weeds are gonna die. I'm spraying the weeds. Let's start mowing it higher and let that St. Augustine really thrive. And I feel like that's what's happened. Here's the St. Augustine. Looks much better. And the Centipede, you know, I would prefer it to be lower, but I mean, we're not gonna, it's just all kind of pieced in here together. So I mean, we just gotta go set a height and go with it, because we were mowing the whole thing low, you know, it would stress out the St. Augustine. So I'd rather leave the Centipede a little higher. Now, also the homeowner told me this, he's getting a couple piles of sod to fill in this. So this is where he had a tree taken out, maybe ground up the stump or something. And then you see some fresh mulch under there. I mean, obviously that makes a difference. And then he's about to redo the flower beds. Now it looks like got a little happy on the hydrangeas there, so it's like gonna be a hydrangea flower bed, which will look beautiful in the spring. But anyway, once he cleans up these flower beds, it's gonna look great. But like I said, for this purpose of this video, more concerned about the yard. You can see here as I get up close the weeds that are dying, and obviously the grass is looking good. So there was clover in here. To be honest, I'd have to go back and look at the video to see what it was in here. Now there is some creeping Charlie, and you can see some of that still around, but most likely was able to clean up some of that. Again, I can't remember. Well, here we go. So here's some creeping Charlie. So it looks like it might need a follow-up application to really finish it off. Obviously had some results on that, but you know, maybe a follow-up application and knock the rest of it out. But I'm really encouraged with the fertilizer kicking in and just the way this St. Augustine looks. Again, I think adjusting the mowing height made a huge difference as well. I appreciate you watching the video. If you hadn't done so, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. There's lots of videos on my channel. Matter of fact, I think there's close to 1,000. And also, I'm about to hit a milestone. I'm about to get 100,000 subscribers. So if you hadn't subscribed, go ahead and do so. Maybe by the time you're watching this later on, maybe I've already hit 100,000. But at the time of this recording, I'm getting really close. So help me out. I also got another channel called Fix a Lawn, where I'm going out there trying to do extreme makeovers, some of those from a mowing standpoint, and I'm also getting into the weed control, trying to really transform yards, more extreme situations than this one. But I was happy with how this turned out. If you're thinking about getting into weed control and fertilization business or mowing business, go to lawncarelife.com. Resources for you there. We'll see you guys in the next video, or check out some of these suggested videos popping up for you now.